Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about directions of vectors. So how do you find the direction of a vector? Well, you're going to be solving for the angle that the vector makes with the positive x-axis. So it would look something like this, where that angle is called theta. Again, it's from the positive x-axis, which we're going to see what the trick looks like for that in just a moment. Now, we're going to be using a formula. So let's say that our vector is xy. Then theta is the angle from the x-axis, not necessarily the positive x-axis, but just the closest x-axis location. And so in order to find that theta, we're going to take the inverse tangent of y divided by x. Notice that y is the vertical component of the vector and x is the horizontal component of the vector. So let's take a look at a relatively simple example. I have this vector here, which is in the first quadrant. I can see that I'm going to start by putting it in its component form. So how much do I go to the right? Well, I go to the right 4. So my horizontal component is positive 4. Then I need to find my vertical component. I would go up 6. So my vertical component is positive 6. Now that I've written this in its component form, I'm going to be able to use my formula to find theta. Theta is going to be equal to inverse tangent of y over x. Now in this case, my y is 6 and my x is 4. When I type this into my calculator, making sure that I'm in degree mode, okay, so if you're in radian mode, you'll get a weird answer. Make sure you're in degree mode in your calculator. Inverse tangent of 6 over 4 ends up being 56.3 degrees. Now, in this case, you can see that the theta I have found is the angle made with the positive x-axis. That means the portion of the x-axis that's to the right-hand side of 0, 0. So I get to stop here and say, that's the direction of my vector. Let's see, though, what happens if I have a different vector that's not in the first quadrant. It means that it's actually going to be closer to the negative x-axis. Well, we're still going to figure this out piece by piece. We're going to start with that component form. How much do I move horizontally? Well, first of all, I'm going to go to the left, and it's going to be 6 to the left. So my horizontal component is negative 6. Then I'm going to go upwards, and in this case, I'm going up 5. So my vertical component is positive 5. Now you can see that the angle it makes with the x-axis is technically with the negative x-axis is theta. And I'm going to be able to use that formula that we've talked about before. Theta is inverse tangent of y over x, where y in this case is 5 and x is negative 6. Now when I plug this into my calculator, I'm going to get negative 39.8 degrees. Now realize that that is not actually my final answer though, because the goal is to find the angle with the positive x-axis. Notice here how I've highlighted in pink the theta here. So this is the final answer I'm looking for. So how do I find that? Well, I know that I've gone backwards 39.8 degrees to get that vector, okay, from the negative axis. And that negative x-axis is really a full 180. All right, so think about it as the pink and the black have to be supplementary angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my theta in pink is 180 degrees minus 39.8 because that's how much the little angle is. When I simplify that, I find out that my theta, or my direction of my vector, is 140.2 degrees. So again, just make sure at the end of the problem you have found the total angle and you'll be in good shape. That's how you find directions of vectors.